Hello, my name is Dave and I'm in Calgary. For those of you who don't know, that's in Western Canada. It's a nice lazy Sunday afternoon and I'm sitting in my backyard eyeing my recently remodeled garage where I raised the roof and added 2 single column parking lifts so I can park 4 cars in the garage. This just reminded me that I've been meaning to write a testimonial for the guys at American Custom Lifts, where I purchased those lifts from. I'm quite satisfied with them, so I thought this is an opportunity to just do a simple video testimonial for them. So I just want to give you a description of what we have here. So in our neighborhood, we have rear lanes, or back alleys as you might call them. That means that houses like mine and many of the others have their garage in the back rather than the front of the house. You can also see that we have a relatively compact backyard, so making a bigger garage really wasn't an option for me. I did not want to lose any of our yard space. So I'm going to walk out, just go out the back gate and then show you the garage. Okay, so there's your basic, this was a basic garage with just a typical cottage roof with a 412 pitch. You saw from the side of the house there that I created kind of a barn style roof, or a gambrel roof as they're called. And it's your typical 16 by 7 double door. And I have 2 of these single post. It's the Maximum 1 6.5 lift from American Custom Lifts. Now, the reason I chose single column lifts rather than the more commonly chosen 4 post lifts is this is only a 22 by 22 garage, and it is not just for storage of our toys like the little bins here, but just our daily drivers. That's my wife's SUV there. That's my Caddy up top. It's got all-wheel drive, which is great for our winters here. If we had used 4 post lifts, we would have been working through this maze of posts just to get in and out of our cars. I do not think my wife would appreciate that too much. We want this to be convenient and practical. So the single post design made sense to us. Now, they are more expensive than a 4 post lift in a number of ways. It's a more expensive product. There's more to it than a 4 post lift. Second is the transportation and the shipping of this lift. It's a big heavy thing, and because it requires a forklift or something else to install, like that to install, it's not an easy do-it-yourself installation. So it is a more expensive option, but we felt it was the perfect choice for a small space. On either side of the cars there's plenty of room. There's plenty of room to open the doors between them or to either side. No mirrors or hitting, anything like that. It's just not a problem at all. Now, why did I choose American Custom Lifts? When I started researching this and planning for this design, I came across 3 different products that were available. There was another USA-based company that made a single post lift. As I was researching those on the various car forums or garage forums that I found, the commentary I was getting on them was not that great. Some of them said they were flimsy, a few other things like that, and that particular product has since been discontinued. There was another product that a number of lift suppliers around the continent have been selling, but it's some no-name, no-brand, I think from China, but really no one owns up to manufacture them. Whatever, I could find no comments from anyone who has one installed, so I just did not like that too much. I didn't want to take that kind of risk. I did find in various car forums the American Custom Lifts design, and that's what I've got here. Everyone who has them has loved them, and from what I could tell, said they're very sturdy. And so I kind of went on that basis and started working by talking to the Brad Davies at American Custom Lifts, and this is over a many months process. I started this actually last fall as I worked on the design of my garage and making sure that it was the right choice for me. Something else I'll mention here, again, for any of you who are not that familiar with the single post lift, let me just walk around the car here again. A lot of other commentary I read when people were discussing these type of lifts is that a lot of people found the base, it just frightened them. You look at that bracket at the back of the base is only about 5 feet wide. The bracket going underneath the car extends a little bit past center point, but not that much further. And people look at it and say, how does that thing stay standing up when you got a car on top of it? You got a 4,000-pound car on top of this thing, and you think it'd be teetering on that little base. But I started researching this. First of all, when you look at it, so the car is sitting up there. It may or may not be quite on center. The weight is probably still off center because the engine is going to be heavier than the rear end. However, the center point of weight is likely still within the range of where those arms reach. I bet you that if I unbolted all of those anchor bolts, that thing would stay standing. It's not going to fall over, even with the car on top. The second thing I did is I researched those concrete anchor bolts. Now you might think that concrete has tremendous compressive strength but very little tensile strength. So you might think that a lot of force on an anchor bolt pulling on it would just break the concrete out. When I started researching it, and I'm not an engineer myself, but just when I started researching it, what I understood from what I was reading is that when that anchor bolt is expanded inside the concrete, the pressure it puts on inside the concrete actually is utilizing the compressive strength in the concrete, so it's like radiating out in a conical shape when force pulls on that bolt to the point where these big 3/4 inch or 5/8 inch anchor bolts are probably can withstand tens of thousands, possibly even 100,000 pounds of force, no problem. So really very doubtful that that thing will ever tip. So if that's one thing that concerns you looking at single posts, I would say don't think of that as a concern at all. Make sure your concrete's good, that's all. And I actually did pour a new floor here just because my old one was heaved and cracked and broken. Anyway, so the lifts were installed. There were a couple little issues. There was a little bit of damage that was done in transit at some point. But nevertheless, the installers that did the work did a great job. And American Custom Lifts have been just superb in following up and handling everything. No matter any questions I have, any issue at all, like the little part that got bent or whatever, they stay on it until I'm taken care of, and I couldn't be happier with the customer service. The lifts are extremely sturdy. You can't wiggle this if you tried, not with the weight of a car on it. I foresee no issues here going forward. Very pleased with the product. So kudos to American Custom Lifts. I would buy from them again, and I would recommend this lift to anyone else who's looking at that kind of thing. Thank you.